Om Namah Shivaya, Episode 7, Chapter 2. Let us understand the meaning of karma, the law of karma, karma yoga, and how karma affects our cycle of birth and death. First, what is karma? Karma means action, and our body, mind, senses are doing action all the time due to Atma's presence within. Karma includes all action, whether done voluntarily or involuntarily. And for every action, there are two results, seen and unseen results, drishta and adrishta pala. For example, if Arjuna does his duty righteously and wins, he will rule the kingdom. And if he dies, he will go to heaven. This is the seen result, immediate results, drishtapala. But if he runs away from his duty, he will incur sin. The unseen results, adrishtapala, papa, will be deposited in his karmic account, for which he has to take birth after birth to repay. Number 2, what is the law of karma? The law of karma is the results of our action given by the law of dharma. When an action is done with a good intention to enjoy the results, then credit, punya, will be deposited in our karmic account. But if it is done with a bad intention, then sin, papa, we incur, for which we have to take birth after birth to enjoy the punyas or suffer the papas. Only when all our actions are done as an offering, yajna, to the law of dharma, for the purification of our minds, we incur no punyas or papas, thereby working towards moksha. Third, what is karma yoga? Karma yoga means doing all our duties as an offering, yajna, to the law of dharma, for the purification of our minds, and having the ability to accept whatever the results may be as Ishvara's prasada. The first step is, with pure intention, we must put forth all the sixfold efforts in doing our duties. We must do our duties by putting forth, first, proper effort, second, have the right knowledge, third, have the right skill, fourth, have the necessary resources, fifth, with perseverance, and sixth, with courage. Then we must offer our action to the law of dharma for the purification of our mind. This is called Ishvara Arpana Buddhi. Having put forth our sixfold effort, there is a seventh factor, Ishvara's grace. This is our prarabdha karma, which we have brought forward to work out in this life. That will determine the final result, which can be any one of the four. It can be more than what we expected, or equal to what we expected, or less than what we expected, or opposite to what we expected, which we must accept with an equal mind. So the second step is we must have Ishvara Prasada Buddhi, have the ability to accept any one of these four results as Ishvara's grace, without being elated or miserable with the results. This is karma yoga. Fourth, how our actions affect our cycle of birth and death. The aim of human birth is to purify our mind and qualify for the knowledge of Brahman. And when this knowledge is converted into wisdom, we are free from the limitation of our body, mind, senses. This is liberation, moksha. Otherwise, we keep going on this endless cycle of birth and death, samsara. Let's start from our previous birth to understand this cycle. When we died on our previous birth, our subtle body, mainly our intellect and mind, carried the impressions of our outstanding punyas and papas in an account called the sanchita karma. In a different plane of consciousness, we reviewed our sanchita karma and put some of our punyas and papas into another account called the prarabdha karma to work out in our next birth, and the balance we kept in our sanchita karma to work out in our future births. So when we took this birth, our prarabdha karma will attract us to fall into a situation where the country, religion, time, and the family we are born into will be conducive to work out our prarabdha karma. Also in this life, in our ignorance, we will be accumulating punyas and papas, which will be deposited in another account called the agamic karma. So at this moment, we have 3 karmic accounts, and we are working out our prarabdha karmas, which when gets fully exhausted, we will drop this body. If we die without gaining moksha, our agamic karma gets deposited into our outstanding sanchita karma, which our subtle body carries to continue on this endless cycle of birth and death. Arjuna was born a Kshatriya. His prarabdha karma was to take care of the law and order of the land. And only when he does his duty as a jnana, karma, sannyasa yoga, renunciation of action through knowledge that Atma is not the doer, he stops accumulating punyas and papas in his agamic account. Then, when he converts jnana yoga into wisdom, his sanchita karmas gets burnt, and he continues living as a jnani until his prarabdha karma gets fully exhausted. Then he drops his physical body. As there is no outstanding punyas and papas in his karmic account, there is no rebirth for him. He is one with a pure consciousness. He is Satchit Ananda Brahman. Human birth is the most precious because only as a human we are given the freedom to choose. Choose to know that we are truly Satchit Ananda Brahman. Now, having understood the tattvas and the importance of being a karma yogi, let's continue chapter 2. Chapter 2 is the summary of the entire Gita given at the beginning, and it has 3 subject matters. First is the knowledge of Brahman, Jnana Yoga. Second, we must purify our minds, be karma yogis. And third, we have to convert these 2 yogas, Jnana Yoga and Karma Yoga, into steady wisdom, Sthitta Prajna. Now let's take another break before we continue. Om Namah Shivaya.